Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I thought we would do something just a little bit different. I thought it might be a little bit of fun to go ahead and take a look at cards in Japan and what kind of value they hold. Everybody's always trying to decide, predict, etc. how much these cards are going to be worth if they make their way over to the UK, US, Europe, etc. And no, we cannot actually give a definite answer. But what we can do is look at the kind of prices that are demanded over in Japan and weigh that up with just a little bit of remembering that Japan has a different culture, and hopefully we can use that to figure out exactly where we stand with the price of these Pokemon cards. So let's have a look, shall we? And I thought it would be fair to have a look at cards which should be featured in Cosmic Eclipse, which is coming out soon. And if we have a look at the cards on this little list, the one that actually jumps out as the expensive card is the alternate art version of the Creation Trio. Now, obviously, I'm looking at a Japanese site here, so we're going to have to do a little bit of currency conversion. I can tell you that the Creation Trio comes in at 4,000 yen. Now, the figures I've got are a bunch of featured cards, so it's fair to say that these are the ones that are, shall we say, most in demand, etc. And this is significantly higher than any of the others. It comes in at 4,000 yen, which is essentially $37 or £29. Now, one thing I should mention about Japan, generally the cards are a little bit cheaper than they are over here, so the comparison is probably going to be more instructive than the actual raw price. But this is probably the only one on the list where I'm going to just ask for a little bit of caution. Now, as I've mentioned in approximately a bazillion videos, Japan has a slightly different format to us. Most of the deck lists we look at, they got a few cards different. But the Creation Trio is really good with double dragon energy. Like, really good with double dragon energy. And it sees a lot of play with double dragon energy. And it can use the amazing GX attack that means for the rest of the game, all your Pokemon do an extra 30 damage and take an extra prize off for KOs for just a double dragon energy. It is way, way better because of double dragon energy. Now, it's also kind of lovely and rare and awesome, but do please bear in mind that this is one where you do have to exercise quite a bit of caution. Now, the second most expensive card we see, and this makes quite a lot of sense to me, is the alternate art version of Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff. And I'll put it nice and simply, Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff is amazing. It is a phenomenal card, and it's going to see a lot of play. No, we don't have double colorless energy anymore. Boo! But we've still got Welder, and we've still got Nadeau and Quagsire. We got plenty of ways to accelerate energy, and this can use all of them. Don't worry about it. The attack does 60 damage base plus 60 more for each GX your opponent has in play. It is a phenomenal card that is going to see a huge amount of play. And yeah, this is why it's the most expensive. Now, this actually comes in at 1,600 yen, which is about $15 and somewhere in the region of £12. Which again is quite cheap for a really good card, but you can see there's already a significant drop-off from the Creation Trio. Now, the good news is, it's mostly the secret rare that's taking that kind of value. I mean, if we have a look in dollars at the other three, well, the regular art is coming in at $1.40, the full art is coming in at $4.60, and the rainbow rare is coming in just a tad higher at $5.50. So, suffice to say, great card, but it really is the fact that it's the secret rare that is driving up the price quite significantly. Now, the other one which really has kind of pulled in the price here, is Nadeau and Guzzlord. Now again, this is largely because it is a secret rare. I mean, if you have a look here, you'll notice that price-wise, it is so much cheaper than the Creation Trio. Although, to be fair, it is kind of in line with, or just a tiny bit less than, Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff. It's an alright card that sees a huge amount of play. It's fine as it goes, but it is a secret rare artwork which is pretty good, and it's coming in at about £8.75 or $11. Cool. But the one that kind of surprises me here is Tag Call. Tag Call is a phenomenally expensive card by comparison. I mean, we have a look at Tag Call here. It's coming in at 500 yen, which is 2.5 what we pay for Rosa, 5 times Professor Oak setting, 3 times Great Catcher, which is going to be a staple in almost every deck, 2.5 times Chaos Vortex, which is going to be pretty much a staple in a huge amount of decks. And if we have, oh sorry, I should give you a price on that, shouldn't I? So 500 yen comes in somewhere in the region of £3.60 or $4.60. But the secret rare Tag Call actually is coming in here at 1,500 yen, which is quite a lot if I'm honest with you. I mean, 1,500 yen comes in at $13, well, I call it $14 or £11. That's quite a bit. Again, this is a comparative exercise. Cards in Japan are cheaper generally, so you're probably not going to be able to pick it up quite so cheap, but you can see that compared to a lot of the other cards, it is really rather expensive. Now, Tag Call is a great card, and what Tag Call actually does is it lets you search your deck for any 2 tag team cards and put them into your hand. Now, when I say tag team cards, I mean either tag team Pokemon or tag team supporters. It's pretty gosh darned amazing. Now, in terms of tag team supporters, something a little bit weird is going on here. So if we have a look at the full arts, we can see that the winner, the most expensive one, is Cynthia and Caitlin, which is basically, well, it's 1,300 yen, which is £9.50 or $12. I am obviously rounding out the figures, but I'm rounding, pretty closely. All right. But if we have a look at the regular arts, Cynthia and Caitlin comes in at 100 yen. It's gone from being the most expensive to the cheapest. If anyone's wondering, 100 yen is 73 pennies in the UK or 92 cents over in the US. Now, Cynthia and Caitlin's actually a pretty good card as it happens. Cynthia and Caitlin put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand, and you may discard a card from your hand to draw 3 cards. It sees a fair amount of play, as incidentally do all of them, but I find it extremely interesting that it becomes the cheapest by a wide margin, and the answer is waifu culture in the artwork. Simple as that. Japan loves Cynthia, and it's a full art Cynthia card. It really is as simple as that. Now, if we actually have a look from a playability price standpoint, you can see that Red and Blue and Guzma and Hala become the most expensive, and then that should work out quite nicely. Red and Blue lets you evolve one of your Pokemon in play into a GX that you search your deck for, though only when you can evolve it normally, and if you discard some cards from your hand, you then get to grab 2 energy and attach them, great in a lot of decks. And Guzma and Hala lets you initially just search for a stadium card, which sounds fine. But if you discard 2 cards from your hand, you also search for a tool and a special energy. And a lot of decks are really having a lot of fun with that. So that kind of makes sense that they'd be a little more expensive. The other one that really jumps out to me here is the fact that the secret rare, the Golden Giant Half, is rocking up at 1,200 yen. I think this is the last one we're actually going to need to do a little bit of a conversion of, but 1,200 yen comes in somewhere in the region of 875 in the UK and about $11 over in the US. But again, it's going to be a bit more expensive than that. But again, comparison. And that's because Giant Harp is amazing. It lets you grab your fire energy. It's phenomenal in Reshiram and Charizard decks, which are really big. It is phenomenal in Mewtwo and Mew decks, which are pretty big. I mean, massively understating both of those. So that makes a little bit of sense. So there we go. The point of this video wasn't to say all these cards are going to be worth exactly this when they come out. The point of this video was to say, look at the rough prices over in Japan. This gives you a rough idea of which cards are going to be more expensive than others, and also which cards you should really be looking for from Cosmic Eclipse. But at this stage, I'd like to know what you think. What do you think about these cards? Which ones do you think are going to be really expensive? Which ones are you on the lookout for? And also, give me some feedback. It's the first video we've done like this. It's a new series, essentially. Could be a new series. Doesn't have to be a new series. If this is the kind of thing you're into, let me know. We can do more in the future. If not, let me know politely, and we can do other videos. Go nuts in the comment section, but please do be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that literally don't even have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.